What is up, everybody? How are y'all doing on this fabulous Friday evening? What's up, everyone? I hope you're all having a fabulous Friday. Sorry, I'm still trying to get everything put together and all that good stuff. I've just been this entire day. I've been just like 10 or 15 minutes behind. You know those feelings? You know those feelings, right? What's up, Pigmaster? Also, hello and good happy birthday to Mr. Pigmaster. Everyone say happy birthday to Pigmaster. Hello, Jobu. Hello, Travis. Hello, Braylon. Hello, Papa. Hello, Cade. Hello, Funny Knuckles Studio. Hello, Ants. Hello, Sebi. How y'all doing? Mind lag. It's been nothing but mind lag. So it might be a bad idea to do like a stream dedicated mainly to reading. But you know what? Fuck it, we ball. That's how I say it. Fuck it, we ball. So what's up, everyone? How are y'all doing? I'm hoping y'all having a great Friday. And you know, we're just gonna chill, relax a little bit, read some creepy pastas, as it were. And, you know, take it how it goes, you know. So far, I got 3 pastas. If y'all have any other choices, we can go ahead and read those as well. But without further ado, you know what? Give me just one moment. I'm going to be adding some pictures to the display. Uno momento, por favor. We're not reading the Happy Appy creepypasta unless you wanna. If there's demand, then maybe I will. There we go. We got the first one. There we go. We'll put them right there. We'll put them. We'll put up the little pictures as we're reading them, and just put them on like a little checklist. We'll start with Squidward's suicide to get us started. You know what? I feel as if Gratina's lair is not creepy enough. You know what? Give me just one moment. There we go. Oh, Braylon, it's your dad's birthday as well? Nice. Also, hey, John. Hello, Josh. How's everyone doing? How's everyone? Doesn't anyone even like the creepypasta? Which one? Oh, Happy Happy? Yeah, it's so bad. The last time I did one of these, I couldn't finish reading it. It was just that bad. But at the same time, it was so bad that it's now a emote in my server because it's so funny. It's just that bad. All right, let's get started with Squidward Suicide, which is one I'm pretty sure I've read, but I don't really remember. Let's get started with Squidward Suicide. Got another creepy song? Oh, sweet. Hey, Jesus. Post it after we're done with that. We'll get some new music cycled through, okay? All right, boys. This is Squidward Suicide. I just want to start off by saying, if you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed. There just isn't one. I was an intern at Nintendo Studios for a year. Nintendo. I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. It wasn't paid, of course. Most internships aren't. But it did have some perks beyond education. To adults, it might not have seemed like a big deal, but most kids at the time would have shit themselves over it. Squidward did a Persona 3 reference. Yes, it is. Now, since I work directly with the editors and animators, I got to view the new episodes days before they aired. I'll get right to it without giving too many unnecessary details. They had very recently made the SpongeBob movie, and the entire staff was somewhat sapped of creativity, so it took them longer to start up the season. But the delay lasted longer than for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with Series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back for several months. Me and two other interns were in the editing room along with the lead animator and sound editor for the final cut. We received the copy of what was supposed to be Fear of the Krabby Patty and gathered around the screen to watch. Now, given that it isn't final yet, animations often put up mock title cards, sort of like an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles, such as How Sex Doesn't Work, instead of Rockabye Bivalve, when SpongeBob and Patrick adopt a sea scallop. Nothing particularly funny, but work-related chuckles. I don't know about that, but Sex Doesn't Work. That's a funny title for a SpongeBob episode. Like, seriously. So when we saw the title card, Squidward Suicide, we didn't think it more than a morbid joke. One of the interns did a short throat laugh at it. A happy-go-lucky music started playing as normal. The story began with Squidward practicing a clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside and Squidward stops, yells at him to keep it down, as he has a concert that night and needs to practice. SpongeBob says okay and goes to see Sandy with Patrick. The bubble splash screen comes up and we see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is when things began to seem off. While playing, a few frames repeat themselves, but the sound doesn't. At this point, sound is synced up with animation, so yes, that's not common. But when he stopped playing, the sound finishes as if the skip never happened. There's a slight murmuring in the crowd before they began to boo him. Not normal cartooning booing that is common in the show, but you could clearly hear malice in it. The SpongeBob fish are having malice with their boos. Instead of boo, you stink, they say boo, you suck. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd, with SpongeBob in center frame, and he too is booing. Very much dislike him. This isn't the oddest thing, though. What is odd is everyone had hyper-realistic eyes. Very detailed. Clearly not shot of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused. Since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet. The hyper-realistic eyes, we already got those. All right, drinking game, boys. Drinking game. If you're old enough to drink, take a shot every single time in the stream we say hyper-realistic anything. Okay? That's a staple to some creepypastas. The shot goes to Squidward sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out his porthole window is of the night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part is at this point, there's no sound. Literally, no sound. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, though their status showed them working perfectly. He just sat there, blinking, in this silence for about 30 seconds. Then he started to sob softly. He put his hands, tentacles. I love, it's in brackets. It's in brackets to okay, SpongeBob fans, I know they're not really hands. They're tentacles. Keep that right. He put his hands, tentacles over his eyes and cried quietly for a full minute more, all while a sound in the background very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through a forest. The screen slowly began to zoom in on his face. By slow, I mean it's only noticeable if you look at the shot 10 seconds apart, side by side. His sobbing gets louder, more full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit, as if it twists in on itself for a split second, then back to normal. The wind through the tree sounds gets slowly louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere. The eerie part is this sound, and Squidward's sobbing sounded real, as if the sound wasn't coming from the speakers, but as if the speakers were holes the sound was coming from the other side. Isn't that what speakers are, though? Isn't that what speakers are? Just portholes of sound? Like a very crappy description of it. As good of a sound as the studio likes to have, they don't purchase the equipment to be that good to produce sound of that quality. Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faint, something sounds like laughter. It came in odd intervals and never lasted more than a second, so you have a hard time pinning it. We watched the show twice, so pardon me if things start sounding too specific, but I've had time to think about it. After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched violently, and something flashed over the screen, as if a single frame was replaced. The lead animation editor paused and rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6. The face was mangled and bloodied. One eye dangling over his upturned face popped. He was naked down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open, and his entrails laying beside him. He was laying on some pavement that was probably a road. The most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of a photographer. There was no crime tape, no evidence tags or markers, and the angle was completely off for a shot designed to be evidence. It would seem the photographer was the person responsible for the child's death. We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping this was just some sick joke. Yo, that's little. Okay, the dead child beat in the animation film. You know what? That's a little rough. But it's a new episode of SpongeBob. We gotta keep pressing on. Because nautical nonsense is something we wish. And those damn animators and their jokes. The editor's just pulling a prank. It's all cool. It's just a prank, bro. Okay. Sick joke. Yeah, sure. You think they would stop watching the tape by now? Exactly. If it was so grotesque and horrible, they would have stopped. The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing, louder than before, and half body and frame. There was now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his eyes. Oh, yo, my boy Squidward picked up a Tears upgrade from Binding of Isaac. Let's go. He got those red blood tear eyes. The blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style. Oh man, who let Dale animate the episodes again? Exactly. Okay, the blood was done in a hyper-realistic style. Oh, that's the second one. We got our second hyper-realistic. Looking as if you touched it, you get blood on your finger. The wind sounded now as if the wind sounded now as if it were that of a gale blowing through the forest. There was even snapping sounds of branches, the laughing, a deep baritone, lasting at longer intervals and coming more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo. We playing Creepypasta Bingo? Oh my god, we should've. Oh my god, we should've. The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were, but we knew he had to. Are we sure he had to? Are we sure? Hey, Nomad, how you doing? Also, hey, Ed. Nomad coming in hot with where the Finboys at, yo? There are no Finboys to be had here, Nomad. We are doing mature things, like laughing at creepypastas. I can send you a board. Oh, did you actually make a board? Oh my gosh, you did. Damn it. Well, alrighty then. Okay. The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were. But he knew he had to. This time the photo was that of what appeared to be a little girl. No older than the first child. She was laying on her stomach. Her barrettes? What the fuck's a barrette? Okay, we're looking this shit up. What in the fuck's a barnett? Is that like a pigtails type thing? Oh, it's like a hair clip. Why can't you just say hair clip? It's a hair clip. It's B-A-R-R-E-T-T-E-S. Hey, GCD! How you doing? We're reading creepypastas. We're reading creepypastas, GCD. Her barrettes in a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye was too popped out and popped, naked except for her underpants. Her entrails were piled on top of her, above another crude cuts along her back. Again, the body was on the streets, and the photographer's shadow was visible. Very similar in size and shape to the first. I had to choke back vomit, and one intern, the only female in the room, ran out. The show resumed. So we got some vague... vague sexism. You know, the only female in the room, she's out of here. She's like, I'm out. I can't. You know, the first one, the first child, yeah, sure, that's fine. The second child, okay, I'm out of here. Oh my God, she's out. The only female in the room ran out. Damn, is this a Reddit mod convention? All right, so about 5 seconds after this second photo played, Squidward was silent, as did all sound. Like it was when this scene started. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyperrealism. Okay, that's number 3. Number 3 with the hyper-realistic. Like the others were in the beginning of the episode. They were bleeding, bloodshot, and pulsating. He just stared at the screen as if watching the viewer. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud, and most fear-inducing of all is this sobbing was mixed with screams. Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep voice laughing. And this time, the still photo lasted a good 5 frames. I should probably watch this channel more. Thank you, Chaos. Hey, K9, how you doing? All right. Uh-oh. This still photo was up 5 frames. The animators really wanted you to see this kid. The animator was able to stop it on the 4th and backed up. This time, the photo was of a boy, about the same age, but this time the scene was different. The entrails were just being pulled out of a stomach wound by a large hand, and the right eye popped and dangling, blood trickling down it. The animator proceeded. It was hard to believe, but the next one was difficult, but we couldn't tell what. He went on to the next. Same thing. He went back to the first one and played them quicker, and I lost it. I vomited on the floor. The animation and sound editor gasped at the screen. The 5 frames were not as if they were the 5 different photos. They were played out as if they were frames from a video. We saw the hand slowly lift out the guts. We saw the kid's eyes focus on it. We even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink. It's so over the top. Our narrator just puked, and they're still going. They're like, you know what? We gotta keep going. We can't be stopping. Yo, this Squidward suicide, it keeps going. We have to. What is this creepypasta supposed to be about? It's supposed to be about SpongeBob, GCD. It's straight up SpongeBob. What the fuck's going on? Has Zeke lost his mind? You know it. The lead sound editor told us to stop. He had to call in the creator to see this. Mr. Hindenburg arrived within about 15 minutes. Oh shit, don't bring Mr. Hindenburg into this. Don't bring Steven in this. Come on, let him rest in peace. He was confused as to why he was called down there. So the editors just continued the episode. They didn't explain shit. They're like, he's like, okay, yo, why am I here? They're like, You gotta watch this shit. So the editors just continued the episode. Once a few frames were shown, all screaming, all sound again stopped. Squidward was just staring at the viewer, full frame of his face, for about 3 seconds. The shot quickly panned out, and that deep voice said, "Do it." And we see in Squidward's hands a shotgun. He immediately put the gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger. Realistic blood and brain matter scattered the wall behind him and his bed, and he flies back with the force. The last 5 seconds of this episode show his body on the bed, on his side, one eye dangling on what's left of his head above the floor, staring blankly at it. Then the episode ends. We got another hyper-realistic. Gassy, you're fucked. Squidward's mind pumped up kicks. Oh shit. Squidward tried his best to summon a persona in Persona 3, but failed. Damn. Mr. Hindenburg is obviously angry at this. He demanded to know what the hell was going on. Most people left the room at this point, so it's just a handful of us to watch it again. So you watched it again? What the fuck? They viewed it again? They legit just sat there like, yo, Squidward blasted his brains out. Let's watch it again. What the fuck? Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint the entirety of it in my mind and cause me horrible nightmares. I'm sorry I stayed. Naruto emotes on Freddy. Oh no! The only theory we could think of is that the file was edited by someone in the chain from the drawing studio to here. The CTO was called in to analyze when it happened. The analysis of the file did show it was edited over by new material. However, the timestamps of it were merely 24 seconds before we began viewing it. All equipment involved was examined for foreign software and hardware as well as glitches, as if the timestamps may have glitched and showed the wrong time. But everything checked out fine. We don't know what happened, and to this day, nobody does. Due to the investigation, there was an investigation due to the nature of the photos, but nothing come of it. No child seen was identifiable, and no clues was gathered from the data involved, nor physical clues in the photos. I never believed in unexplained phenomenon before, but now that I have something happen and can't prove anything about it beyond anecdotal evidence, I think twice about things. It was the man behind the slaughter. And that was Squidward's suicide. Okay, yeah, that was just as dumb as I remember, or like, I feel as if I've read that one before. I feel as if I watched that, listened to that before, and thought it was like, it's all right. I can see this being on YouTube, kids. You know what? Fair enough. YouTube kids. Oh, Travis got some spooky music for us to... Oh, there we go. We got some new music to go for. Wonder if there's any creepypastas about more. Oh, the more crabs? Let's see. Let's see if there's something. Oh, it did pop up. It did pop up. What do we have here? You gotta be shitting me. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, I don't think this is more. Okay, this looks stupid as hell. GCD, do you want to join in for this one, since you were the one that like recommended this? You're the one that recommended this shit. All right, we're going to be bringing in GCD for this one. Let's do it. I'll go ahead and start a voice call.
Good evening, sir.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm fine. I just want to go on record and say, like, when you were saying, like, you gotta be kidding me. The music in your stream got, like, perfectly synced, more intense in that moment.
Oh, seriously? I accidentally made something cool.
You made something with a really terrifying omen.
Oh,
This
sweet.
was just a thought that popped into my head, and now it's going somewhere, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna like how far it goes.
Nice. I am an omen, and you know what? You're in a stream with me, so call that an omen. You're like, oh shit. You're like, oh shit. So I don't think this is related to the more crabs image. However, I'm still gonna put this up here because it does look stupid as hell.
I just saw that little Squidward with the bleeding eyes you had, and the first thing I thought was like, hey, more crabs should be right next to him. That'd be fun.
Let's do it. Let's add more crabs in here.
Sweet.
Oh my gosh, they're... Okay, I know this is not more crabs. However, I just found this. Should we put him in here too?
Oh, I don't want to deny my more crabs, but that is so dumb.
We're adding both.
Word, I'm happy then.
We're adding both. One moment. Forget the creepypastas. I'm making this like image the best ever.
Excellent.
So how you doing, dude? How you been?
I've been okay. I've been preparing for, well, I guess a little sneak peek, not even a sneak peek, a little insider information. I am prepping for a 2-day trip where I will be traveling to Tennessee to film a scene of Mario Bros. And the Angry Birds.
Oh,
remake.
fun!
Yes, indeed. Found a little off-grid cabin that I thought fulfilled the atmosphere I was looking for in the scene. And it should take me like a day to film, so not too much budget lost on it.
Oh, there you go. What part of Tennessee?
Let's see. It's fairly close to the border of North Carolina.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of in the like the the Smoky Mountains, I think.
Yes, if that's what they're called.
Yeah, the eastern part of Tennessee. That's the Smokies.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh, both of them fit perfectly, dude. Oh my gosh. All right, so do you want to join in with this one? It's called The End of Crabs.
Oh boy. All right. Okay.
All right, I'll go ahead, share my screen. So let's go ahead and do that.
I can hear the music through your line. All right, this is beautiful. This works.
Okay, so how are we going to do this? Do you want to like kind of take turns reading paragraphs, or do you want to do like kind of popcorn style?
I guess we can try and take turns. Let's just see how it goes.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's start. Introduction. Warning. This creepypasta is not suitable for children under 13 and thus contains language, psychological elements, and sexual content. Reader discretion is advised. What would happen? Oh, go ahead.
I don't know how we're separating the paragraphs.
Just whatever. If you want to do one paragraph, I do one paragraph, you do one paragraph. Either way works for me.
Yeah, we can just do that.
Okay, cool.
I only see the chat right now.
You only see the chat?
Yeah,
What about-
I need
what-
you to flip back to the creepypasta so I can read it. Okay. What would happen if the creators of the critically lauded cartoon SpongeBob SquarePants got rid of Mr. Krabs and Plankton? The creators made a test episode known as The End of Krabs. This episode was not supposed to be released to the public.
My mother worked at Nintendo and Nintendo. I did that last time too. SpongeBob's owned by Nintendo, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. My mother worked at Nickelodeon and loves her job. She mainly worked on SpongeBob and Ren and Stimpy. The End of Krabs was much darker than the previous episodes. Since my mom worked at Nick, she would sometimes bring home DVDs of newer episodes for my 11-year-old autistic sister to watch. One day, when she got home, she put a DVD in the table. She put a DVD in the table?
In the table?
I know it means like on the table, but I'm just imagining like a DVD player, but it's also a table. Sounds really cool.
Huh. Someone should invent that.
That would be pretty cool. She never mentioned the DVD, mostly because she was in a hurry. After she left, I grabbed the DVD and put it on the DVD player.
The fateful day I watched it. The show started with the usual opening theme, but something was weird this time. It was unusually slow, and SpongeBob did not whistle his nose. Then it was only pitch black for 20 seconds. Then a creepy choir came, with blood-red words reading, "The End of Krabs" appeared. All while using the credits were shown. All while the usual credits were shown. But then, the screen turns pitch black again. I realized that the song that played was Escape to the Beginning, a song from the 1997 film The End of Evangelion, then released that this could have a very similar plot.
Oh my gosh, it's a Neo Genesis reference.
Is this actually a song they played in an Evangelion movie? Hold up, I gotta look up this
We
song.
gotta look this up. Do you think this is do you think that's copyrighted?
Most likely, so let me look this up for us. Escape to the Beginning song. Okay. And is it real? Maybe if I tried okay, wait. Okay, I think this is actually something from an Evangelion thing.
Do you think it's probably copyrighted if it's from an animated movie?
Well, anime tracks don't normally get copyrighted that often.
So do you think we should just say fuck it, we ball?
It is actually kind of creepy though.
Let's do it. That's all you had to say.
Oh boy.
Okay, look at the bottom, like you know, like the read more. You know where it kind of like sometimes auto populates with.
Yeah.
Does it have anything like that?
It doesn't appear to, no.
Then I think we should be fine. All right, let's go ahead and find it. Oh.
I could just send you a link, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this should work. Let's hope I'm right about this and we don't get the stream copyrighted.
I mean, there are...
Make time for an epic adventure in Hyrule.
Seems like we're okay.
Yeah, there are ads on it.
Take a long time. Not for Susan though.
It says that the... I think we'll be fine.
Okay. We'll roll with it.
We roll. Okay, can you see the creepypasta?
I cannot. Okay, now I can.
Okay. Oh my god, this is creepy. This is creepy. Okay, I'll go ahead and loop it. There we go. Alright, did I read the last one, or did you?
I think it was me.
Oh, okay. I then see a text that reads, Todd Fur, Mr. Krabs. In my disbelief and shock, but mostly fear, I knew it was German for death to Mr. Krabs. Oh my god. Death to Mr. Krabs while this is going on in the background. Then we cut to Bikini Bottom in a very stormy, foggy, and dark night. We then see the Chum Bucket with thunder roaring across the sky in the background. Then we cut inside the Chum Bucket. The building's dining room is filled with spider webs and rats are seen roaming the area. I know what they mean, but I'm just imagining like rats just floating there drowned. Because it's underwater, you know? Roaming the area. I know that rats don't live in the ocean. Then we see the lab. What about the laboratory, though? Then
We don't talk about that.
Then my eyes filled with shock and disbelief. Plankton is seen doing what Sinji. Oh my god!
What?
Oh my god! Plankton is seen doing what Shinji Ikari was doing to Asuka in the end of Evangelion during the beginning. He's doing the masturbation scene. They put the fucking masturbation scene in here. What the fuck? Oh, this one has no chill. He's crazy. At the beginning, then Plankton shouts, "I'm so fucked up." The scene then cuts to the Krusty Krab, where we see a "Open Forever" sign. We cut to Krabs.
Actually, a slasher episode.
What's up?
That's Open Forever. That's the hash slinging slasher episode. Graveyard Shift, was it?
Yes.
Alright, so this is canonically taking place during the hash slinging slasher saga.
Let's do it. We cut to Krabs' office, which is very dark. We see Krabs himself depressed with tears streaming down his eyes and into his mouth.
Then SpongeBob and Squidward arrive, ready for work. Okay, so we got Squidward and SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs doing dialogue. Alright, who's gonna be who?
Do you want to be SpongeBob? I can be Squidward and Krabs.
Sure!
Very, very dark day today.
It's 1:16 a.m., SpongeBob.
We are working for Mr. Krabs at midnight. That must mean I work for him forever.
That's because our business is now open forever, lad.
Mr. Krabs, you look depressed.
That's because me daughter Pearl died from cancer.
You gotta be kidding. Mr. Krabs then burst into tears, crying uncontrollably. Squidward and SpongeBob work together to try to calm down their boss. Patrick arrives happily shouting, Good morning, Krusty Crew. Then he notices what's going on. What's wrong, Mr. Krabs?
He lost his daughter.
And he needs to calm the hell down. It's gonna be okay, sir. That's enough.
Patrick then, or actually, you can take this paragraph.
All right. Patrick then shares a tear in his eyes. I hope he'll be
okay.
said Patrick. Then the scene ends, showing a time card saying 7 a.m. The Krusty Krab is overwhelmingly busy. Mr. Krabs, despite not crying no more, is still saddened by the death of his daughter. Then he hears a voice saying, "The end is coming for you next." Back at the chum bucket, Plankton wakes up after what he was doing to Karen. At this point, I was in fear. I was wondering to myself, is this a prank? Then Plankton hears the same voice. Then we see another time card saying 6 p.m. Mr. Krabs attempts to cheer himself up by listening to the old sea shanty music. Then he goes to check on SpongeBob and SpongeBob and Squidward. The Krusty Mean is empty. What? Do you see what right there? It says the Krusty Mean.
More like Krusty Meme. What the hell is going on?
Is empty, with only one customer with a Krabby Patty and a bottle of coffee. Then,
Coffee isn't sold in bottles, as far as I'm aware.
as some of them are.
Oh yeah, if you're one of those weirdos, like it's a latte mocha something. Let's hope a character like that dies in this story.
Then another customer arrives, but when Krabs gets his notepad, the customer says, "Come, Sir Todd." Mr. Krabs becomes surprised. "What did you say?" I said,
Said big meaty claws.
I said, "Come, Sir Todd." Huh? What?
Then, Todd begins to replace everything and everyone. Krabs starts to go insane. I was scared. He then looked at the menu. He sees Todd as an item for everything. Krabs says,
I didn't rate that.
then Krabs' eyes start swirling. Then Krabs screams in agony and runs out of the Krusty Krab. Plankton appears and shoots Mr. Krabs. It ended. I destroyed the DVD. The end.
Plankton shows up and just shoots him. Mr. Krabs gets all scared about a guy talking German to him. And then Plankton comes and just shoots him to death. The end. Oh my god.
So ugly that everybody died. The end.
I feel more bad for Mr. Krabs than I do Squidward. Mr. Krabs was like working through like the death of his daughter, and then Plankton comes and shoots him after Plankton had like the post-nut clarity. He's like,
Plankton was like, "Hey, Krabs, what's that?" "Oh, Plankton, my daughter's dead. Do you want to see her again, Krabs?" "Yes." "Hold still."
Oh Jesus. Oh, that was bad.
That was horrible.
All right, so we got that one taken care of. We'll go with this music.
Oh boy. Kevin MacLeod. Ah, good times.
Good times, good times. All right.
So, what are we reading next?
The next one is, I gotta see it, like, so you know the concept of Tumblr Sexy Man, right?
Tumblr what?
Tumblr Sexy Man? Like people go goo goo gaga for like certain characters.
What, like how all those girls on TikTok were sad that some guy who like murdered somebody in a drag race got like 20 years?
More along the lines of, you know, like the Onceler. Everyone's like, oh my god, he's so dreamy.
Oh yeah, that cringe.
Yeah, so we got ourselves a new one here.
Oh no. Okay.
Here, I'm gonna go ahead and add the image. This is the second worst Jeff that we know. Jeff the Killer, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever heard of Jeff the Killer, GCD?
Yeah, and apparently now he has yellow skin.
Well, there he is normally, but you know how Wikipedia can be, or wikis.
Gotcha, yeah.
What's the worst, Jeff? You don't want to know. But no, apparently they make, like, there are people that lust over this thing.
Why? The only thing this thing makes me feel is grateful that I own a gun.
You'll just shoot Jeff the Killer.
Yes?
Jeff the Killer, origin and history. Estimated reading time, 23 minutes. Oh, this is like not a creepypasta itself. It's more like kind of like a origin story.
Oh, okay.
So we can jump around a little bit. You wake at 3 a.m., disturbed by some subtle shifting sounds within the room, just on the edge of hearing. Popping up on one arm, you survey the room, looking for some source for the noise, hoping beyond hope that you won't find one. At first, your hopes are raised. Everything seems to be silent. Everything seems to be still. But it isn't. From beyond the long, concealing drapes of the curtain, a voice with a flittering, serpentine hiss whispers, "Go to sleep." Suddenly, you know what's about to happen and exactly who is waiting to meet you. You think it's Santa?
He's gonna take away my DS.
You think it's Santa?
I wish.
I think it's Santa. He's known for his flickering, serpentine, hissing whisper.
Right. Also breaking into houses. You know, you might be onto something.
You know, if you really think about it, Santa Claus is creepy.
It is creepy.
He
if
sees-
you really think about it.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
Yeah, in any other context, saying "I see you when you're sleeping" is a threat. Why is this guy in red all of a sudden just a special exception? For all we know, that's the red of blood.
He knows when you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Otherwise, he's going to drop off coal. Also, this is beyond the point. We've kind of gone off the crazy end, or deep end here. Have you ever heard of Krampus, the Christmas demon? Or Krampus?
Oh, I saw a trailer for a movie about that.
It's an actual thing in like Scandinavian or like some of those northern European countries.
They liked their folklore.
I know, and I love it. My brother, my brother straight up has said that he will not tell his kids about Santa Claus, and he'll even say that Santa Claus died in 2020. But I've convinced him to tell his kids that Krampus is real. Because what Krampus is they have a concept, something similar to Santa Claus, where if you're good, you get gifts. But if you are a bad child, Krampus will gather you up in his sack and just start whooping you, just beating you. And that's your first offense. If you're bad the second year, he will get you in the sack. He'll beat you again, but he'll take you to his den and he just eats you.
You know, I just gotta make this joke. You've heard of Christmas stockings. Now get ready for your Christmas stockings.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Now that's a folklore I could get behind with like Christmas time, you know?
That's insane. Spain. Who made up this stuff?
The like the Northern European countries, you know, the places that have like snow 9 months out of the year.
Fair enough.
Is there a Miss Crumpus, and is she hot? Says Travis. I don't know. We might have to ask him.
Fornication puts you on the naughty list, Travis. I don't think we read that. Did we read that part up there?
Oh yeah, I got so focused on Krampus. As recognizable and widely known as he is feared, Jeff the Killer, the infamous villain of numerous stories.
Eponymous?
Eponymous.
Eponymous. What is, hang, I can't. All right. Yeah, you know what? Can we Google that? Can we Google that definition? Can we also hear the little audio say how it's supposed to be sounded?
Eponymous.
Eponymous. Like hippopotamus. Eponymous. Of a person giving their name of something.
The
Giving-
eponymous hero of a novel.
So I guess just like his name just is like his name is more of like a thing, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Of numerous stories leering the internet, is one of the best known and most widely referred to referenced creepypasta character to have emerged from the shadowy corners of the web over the past few decades. I don't know. I feel as if Slenderman is way more widely referenced.
Sorry, what was that?
Do you think Slenderman is more widely known than Jeff the Killer?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if you were to go out and just ask people, like, do you know who Slenderman is? You'd probably get more yeses than if you were to ask them who Jeff the Killer is.
You know, that is fair. Chaos says that even Sonic.exe is referenced more than Jeff the Killer. You know what? That's also fair. Fair enough. The synopsis, firstly, for those unfamiliar with the character Jeff the Killer, the most widely known creepypasta on this character can be found here. Let's see here. Oh, so this is just like kind of descriptions of him. I thought this was like the actual story of him.
Aww.
Let's try to find the story itself. The original story from Wattpad. Let's go.
Now that I think about it, I think Siren Head may have also started as a creepypasta. It was either a creepypasta or a fancy piece of art. I can't remember which one. I wonder if Siren Head was a creepypasta originally. I wonder if the original story's still out there somewhere.
I'm sure it is. Have you heard the search for the original Jeff the Killer picture?
I can imagine that it was intense.
It is intense, and we still don't really have an answer. We thought we had an answer, but the person that came in to claim it, and we found one person that posted on the internet on I think 4chan or something, and it was confirmed to be him. However, he stole it from someplace else. We don't know the origin of Jeff the Killer.
Wow, that sucks. It's a mystery we'll never know.
And according to Jesus, there was a bounty for it.
There's a bounty for the original Jeff the Killer.
The internet is wild, my dude. Can you imagine, like, hey, how'd you get $1,000? Oh, I found a web mystery. I solved a web mystery. I got $1,000 because of it. Oh, did you like find the location of like a missing kid or something? No. No, it's
Origin of the meme.
the origin of a meme. That's what I found.
It kind of reminds me of, you know about the Zelda CDI games, I assume?
Yeah.
So there was like a full-on search for the voice of Morshu. Because apparently he's not actually listed in the credits of the game.
Really?
And they've narrowed it down to like a few possibilities of who it could have been. because the same voice appears in other games that were made by the company that made the Zelda CDI games. So they think they found the guy, but there was a long process where people were trying to find who the voice of Morshu was, just because of lamp oil, rope, bombs.
Can you imagine?
That's it.
Can you imagine?
That character, I think, has 2 lines in the game, and and that resulted in a manhunt after the voice actor.
Okay, just put yourself in the shoes of that voice actor. You're just chilling one day. You know, just like it's a normal day. You might be like looking forward to coming home to your wife. She's making like some beef stroganoff or something. And all of a sudden, everything just starts buzzing. And it's like the freaking internet people just sending you like lamps, like lamp rope and lamp oil and bombs. They're like, is this like some kind of like terrorist attack? You straight up forget about those 2 lines you did. You're like, Betty, we have to move.
I told you we should have gone up to Montana.
But the stroganoff, forget about the stroganoff.
We gotta take cover.
They're sending lamp oils and bombs at us.
And ropes. I don't know what they're for, and I don't want to find out.
Oh, Funky's got given us a update. They found the voices of Link and Morshu, and they're having them voice this CDI-inspired indie game.
Right, I saw the trailer for that game, actually.
So that could have happened where he's just like, what the hell's going on? And then the actor is Jeffrey Nelson. Poor Jeffrey Nelson just kind of just sitting there and just like, what is going on? Why are people liking this character so much? Like after all these years, or do you think I'd like to imagine also that Jeffrey liked to like explore the internet and like, what's this YouTube poop? And he just sees his character gets just made to say like various different things.
I think there's actually a video out there of Morshu reading the entire Bible.
Yes, I heard about that. It's not AI as well. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, I don't think I could watch that video. More for the fact, like, if that's not AI, then I'm not gonna understand what the hell he's talking about.
Ah, there you go. I was trying to figure out how to spell Morshu. I'm gonna put him on the on the stream. He deserves. He deserves it. I'm done with the creepypastas. I'm just loving these like rabbit holes of weird things. All right, where are we going? Where are we dropping? Where are we dropping?
I don't get why he's such a popular meme, though. It's literally just lamp oil, rope, bombs. You want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rubies.
It's the internet. That's the funny thing. The thing that
never understand the internet.
No one truly does. And that's the great part. There we go. We'll put him right by Zeket. There we go.
Is that what that's called? I thought
Yep.
that was like some kind of Kirby thing.
No, that's Zeket.
Huh. Hey, you got a super chat.
There's a super chat. I was looking away for just a second. Hey, thank you so much, Wolfo. Morshu at TF2 Heavy. Kiss me. For $2. Thank you so much. Why is Morshu kissing the TF2 Heavy? Are they the same voice actor?
I doubt it.
Oh, I'm trying to give it a little heart. There we go. Gave it a heart. Oh, yeah. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Jeff the
Give
Killer.
hearts to super chats? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can.
Huh.
Yeah, it has a little blank heart right by it. All right, so let's continue with Jeff the Killer.
Okay.
All right, excerpt from a local newspaper. Ominous unknown killer is still at large. After weeks of unexplained murders, an ominous unknown killer is still on the rise. After little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells his story. I had a bad dream and I woke up in the middle of the night, says the boy. I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to go back to sleep. That's when I had a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. I looked up, nearly jumped out of my bed. There, in the little ray of lights illuminating from between my curtains, was a pair of two eyes. They weren't regular eyes. They were dark, ominous eyes. They were bordered in black and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth, a long, horrendous smile that made every hair in my body stand up. The figure stood there, watching me. Finally, after what seems like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but said in a way that only a madman could speak. Do you want this paragraph?
Sure.
He said, "Go to sleep." I let out a scream. That's what sent him at me. He pulled up a knife, aiming at my heart. He jumped on top of my bed. I fought him back. I kicked. I punched. I rolled around trying to knock him off me. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife. It went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police.
I keep looking over at like the stream.
Mhm.
I keep seeing that Jeff the Killer, and now like I'm constantly double checking that my gun is by my side.
Jeff the Killer is staring at you. Go to sleep.
I've got my hand on my gun right now, just making sure it's still there.
Oh my god, please don't fire it. Just like out of nowhere, we're just like, go to sleep. Just a gunfire goes off. Like, geez, you're getting all jumpy.
Of our friend group, I'm probably the last one you probably want to pull a scary prank on because I will probably shoot something.
Good to know. Although you didn't have your guns in Houston, so it probably was safe to do it then, but I didn't.
Well, good thing you didn't think to do it then.
My entire presence, though, is spooky to you anyway, huh?
I sometimes. I can work my way around some things sometimes.
You're like, I was fighting for my life, chat.
Guys, he has even more animal penis facts than I thought.
I have become too powerful. I am the cryptid. I am Jeff the Killer. They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard a smash, like glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out to see him vanish into the distance. I could tell you one thing. I will never forget that face. Those cold, evil eyes, and that psychotic smile. They will never leave my head. Police are... Oh, go ahead.
I was just thinking it's like another paragraph.
Okay.
Police are still on the look for this man. If you see anyone that fits the description of this story, please contact your local police department.
Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it would be best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother Lou couldn't complain, though. A new, better house. What was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of their neighbors came by.
Hello, she said. I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and introduce my son. She turns around and calls her son over. Billy, these are our new neighbors. Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard.
Well, said Jeff's mom, I'm Margaret, and this is my husband, Peter. I read that for a second as Pepper. And my two sons, Jeff and Lou. They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said that they would love to. When Jeff and his family were done packing, Jeff went to his mom.
Mom, why would you invite us to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid.
Jeff, said his mom, we just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now, we're going to that party, and that's final. Jeff started to talk, but stopped himself, knowing that he couldn't do anything. Whether his mom said something, it was final. He walked to his room and plopped down on his bed. He sat there looking at the ceiling when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much a pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as some random feeling. He heard his mother call him down to get his stuff, and he walked down to get it.
The next day, Jeff walked downstairs to get breakfast and got ready for school. As he sat there eating breakfast, he once again got that feeling. This time it was stronger. Gave him a slight tugging pain, but he once again dismissed it. He and Louis finished breakfast. They walked down to the bus stop. They sat there waiting for the bus, and then all of a sudden, some kid on a skateboard jumped over them, only inches above their laps. They both jumped back in surprise. Hey, what the hell?
It's Tony Hawk. The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked his skateboard up and caught it with his hand. The kid seemed to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff. He wears a Aeropostale shirt and ripped blue jeans.
Well, it looks like we got some new meat. Suddenly, two other kids appeared. One was super skinny, and the other one was fat. I mean, huge. We all know what it means. Well, since you're new here, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith. Jeff and Lou looked over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a sidekick to have. And he's Troy. I thought that said Tony for a second.
It's Tony! It's my boy Tony!
Yeah, we call him Tony because he eats too much pizza because he's fat.
You get it because he's fat.
They looked over at the fat kid. Get it? Because he's fat. Talk about a tub of lard. Because he's fat. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling. Because he's fat, guys.
I'm starting to think Troy might be fat.
Fat.
And I, said the first kid, am Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there's a small price for bus fare, if you catch my drift. Lou stood up, ready to punch the lights out of the kid's eyes, when one of his friends pulled out a knife on him. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I had hoped you would be more cooperative, but it looks like we must do this the hard way. The kid walked up to Lou and took his wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that feeling again. Now it was truly strong, a burning sensation. He stood up, but Lou gestured him to sit down. Jeff ignored him and walked up to the kid.
Listen here, you little punk. Give my bro's wallet, or else. Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife.
Oh, and what will you do? Just as he finished the sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose. As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and broke it. Break the wrist, walk away. There you go, Jeff.
Steal his watch, too.
Randy screamed, and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Troy and Keith rushed Jeff, but Jeff was too quick. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped his knife and fell to the ground screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. He just punched Troy straight in the stomach, and Troy went down. As he fell, he puked all over. He just punched him and pukes. Lou could do nothing but look in amazement at Jeff.
Jeff, how'd you? That was all he said. They saw the bus coming, and they knew they'd be blamed for the whole thing, so they started running as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Lou just thought of that as his brother beating up a few kids, but Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was. The urge to just hurt someone. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. He felt that strange feeling go away, and stayed away for the entire day of school. Even as he walked home due to the whole thing near the bus stop, and how now he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore, he felt happy. When he got home, his parents asked him how his day was, and he said, in a somewhat ominous voice, "It was a wonderful day." The next morning, he heard a knock at his front door. He walked down to find 2 police officers at his door, his mother looking back at him with an angry look.
Jeff, these officers tell me that you attacked 3 kids. That wasn't a regular fighting, and that they were stabbed. Stabbed, son! Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was true.
Mom, they were the ones who pulled the knives on us.
Son, said one of the cops, we found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, 1 being bruised on his stomach, and we have witness proving that you fled the scene. Now, what does that tell us? Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Lou had been attacked first, but there had been no proof of it was not them who attacked first. They couldn't say that they weren't fleeing, because truth be told, they were. So Jeff couldn't defend himself or Lou.
Son, call down your brother. Jeff couldn't do it, since it was him who beat up all the kids.
Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up the kids. Lou tried to hold me back, but he couldn't stop me. The cop looked at his partner, and they both nod.
Well, kid, looks like a year in juvie.
Wait!
On trial?
No trial whatsoever.
No trial?
What is it, Judge Dredd?
Aw, dang.
Wait, said Lou. They all looked at him, looked up to see him holding a knife. The officers pulled his gun and locked him on Lou.
What?
Oh shit, a 13-year-old has a gun!
Oh shoot, wait, where were we?
Right here, it was me.
It was me! I beat up those little punks. Have the marks to prove it. He lifted up his sleeve to reveal cuts and bruises, as if he was in a struggle.
Son, just put that knife down, said the officer. Lou held the knife and dropped it on the ground. He put his hands up and walked over to the cops.
No, Louie, it was me. I did it. Jeff had tears running down his face.
It's turning into like an anime. Like a really bad anime. Jeff the Killer anime.
Poorly made anime, yeah.
Huh? Poor bro. Try to take the blame for what I did. Well, take me away. The police led Lou out of the patrol car.
Louie, tell them it was me. Tell them I was the one who beat up those kids. Jeff's mother put her hands on his shoulders.
Jeff, please. You don't have to lie. We know it's Lou. You can stop. Jeff watched helplessly as the cop car sped off with Lou inside. A few minutes later, Jeff's dad pulled in the driveway. Seeing Jeff's face, he knows something was wrong. Hey, son, I saw a cop car. I know how much you love those.
Son? What is it, son? Jeff couldn't answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying. Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the bad news to him. as Jeff wept in the driveway. After an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house, seeing that his parents were both shocked, sad, and disappointed. He couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they thought of Louis when it was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by with no word from Louis at JDC. No friends to hang out with, nothing but sadness and guilt. That is, until Saturday, when Jeff is woke up by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face.
Jeff, it's the day, she said as she opened up the curtains and let light flood into his room.
What? What's today? Asked Jeff as he stares awake.
Why, it's Billy's party. He's now fully awake.
Mom, you're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after... There was a long pause.
Jeff, we both know what happened. I think this party could be a thing that brightens up the past days. Now get dressed. Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get ready herself. He fought himself to get up. He picked out a random shirt and a pair of jeans and walked downstairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up. His mother in a dress and his father in a suit. He thought, why they would ever wear such fancy clothes to a kid's party?
Son, is that all you're going to wear? Said Jeff's mom.
Better than wearing too much, he said. His mother pushed down a feeling to yell at him and hit it with a smile.
Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression, said Jeff's father. Jeff grunted and went back up to his room.
I don't have any fancy clothes, he yelled downstairs.
Just pick something out, called his mother. He looked around in his closet for what he could call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions and an undershirt. He couldn't find a shirt to go with it though. He looked around and found only striped and patterned shirts, none of which go with dress pants. Finally, he found a white hoodie and put it on.
You're wearing that? They both said. His mother looked at her watch. Oh, no time to change. Let's just go, as she said as she hurried Jeff and his father out the door. They crossed the street over to Barbara's and Billy's house. They knocked on the door, and at it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed. As they walked inside, all Jeff could see were adults. No kids.
The kids are out in the yard. Jeff, how about you go meet some of them? Go meet some of them, said Barbara.
Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns. He might as well be standing at a Toys R Us. Suddenly, a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and hat.
Hey, wanna play?
He said.
Ah, no, kid. I'm way too old for this stuff. The kid looked at him with a weird puppy dog face.
Please?
Said the kid. Fine, said Jeff. He put on the hat and started to pretend to shoot at the kids. At first he thought it was totally ridiculous, but then he started to actually have fun. It might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off Louis. So he played with the kids for a while, until he heard a noise, a weird rolling noise. Then it hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skateboards. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with a burning hatred.
Hello, Jeff, is it? He said. We have some unfinished business. Jeff saw his bruised nose. I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you, and you, I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you, and you get my brother sent to GDC.
Randy got an angry look in his eyes. Oh no, I don't go for even. I go for winning. You may have kicked our asses that one day, but not today. As he said that, Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose, and Jeff grabbed him by the ear and headbutted him. Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming and parents were running out of the house. Troy and Keith pulled guns out of their pockets.
Oh shit! They're like, we're getting even on this 13-year-old. We got fucking Glocks.
Glots.
God, I don't even know. Glocks, that's it. No one interrupts or guts will fly, they said. Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed it in his shoulders.
Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabs his foot and twists, causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him. Fatty. It's the fat guy, guys.
Need some help? He picks Jeff up by the back of his collar and throws him through the patio door. It's a strong 12-year-old. But he's fat.
Have you ever heard the song Came in Like a Wrecking Ball?
Came in like a wrecking ball as Jeff the Killer just comes blasting through the wall. He picks Jeff up in the back of the collar, throws him through the patio door. As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts to cough up blood.
Come on, Jeff, fight me! He picks up Jeff and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter and smashes the glass over Jeff's head.
You know, just some casual day drinking in your with your kid's Billy's birthday party.
Yeah, that could seriously kill someone.
Fight! He throws Jeff back in the living room.
Come on, Jeff, look at me. Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood. I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC. And now you're just gonna sit here and let him rot for a whole year. You should be ashamed. Jeff starts to get up.
Oh, finally! You stand and fight! Jeff is now on his feet, blood and vodka in his face. Once again, he gets that strange feeling, the one in which he hasn't felt for a while. Finally, he's up, says Randy as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed. All rational thinking is gone. All he could do is kill. He grabs Randy and piles drive him to the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. He punches through Randy's heart to stop. As Randy gasped for breath, Jeff hammered down on him, punch after punch. Blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies.
I like how it was like he was having trouble breathing, and then like right before he dies, hey, I can breathe again. Oh wait, my heart was essentially turned to mush. Everyone is looking at Jeff now. Parents, the crying kids, even Troy and Keith. Although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff, Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs for the stairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him. Each shot misses. Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith follow up behind. As they let out their final rounds of bullets, Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs the towel rack and rips it off the wall. Troy and Keith race in, knives ready.
So the parent, like all the adults were just sitting around watching these two 13-year-olds just like punch at each other?
They have guns to be fair.
Oh, I forgot that they had guns trained on them. That's right. I forgot about that part. Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down hard, and now all that's left is Keith. He's more agile than Troy is, and ducks when...
Not fat.
He's not fat. He's thin, remember?
Yeah, exactly. Not fat.
And ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He drops the knife and grabs Jeff by the neck. He pushes him into the wall. A thing of bleach falls down on top of him from the top shelf. It burnt both of them, and they both start to scream. Jeff wiped his eyes as best as he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight into Keith's head. As he lays there, bleeding to death, he lets out an ominous smile.
Keith did a little bit better because he's not fat. Like Troy. Troy's fat.
Troy is fat.
Troy's fat. What's so funny? Asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter and switched it on. What's funny, he said, is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol. Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol in the vodka. While the alcohol burned him, the bleach beneath his bleached his skin. The bleach bleached his skin. Okay, that's actual writing. That was not dyslexia. That's how it's written.
It's a weird
Bleach
sentence.
bleached his skin. Jeff let out a terrible screech as he caught fire. He tried to roll out of the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol had made him a walking inferno. He ran down the hall and fell down the stairs. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, drop to the ground, nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and other parents trying to extinguish the flame. That's when he passed out.
When Jeff woke, he had a cast wrapped around his face. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over his body. He tried to stand up, but he realized there were some tubes in his arm. And when he tried to get up, it fell out, and a nurse rushed in.
I don't think you can get out of bed just yet, she said as she put him back in the bed and reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea of what his surroundings were. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother.
"Honey, are you okay?" she asked. Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered, and he was unable to speak. "Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed to trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou go." Why?
Huh.
This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube coming out of his arm. "He'll be out by tomorrow, and then you two will be able to be together again."
Neat. Jeff's mother hugs Jeff and says her goodbyes. The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by his family. Then came the day where his bandages were removed. His family were all there to see it, what he looked like. As the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face, everyone was on the edge of their seats. They waited until the last bandage holding the cover over his face was almost removed.
So basically, they're like, "Yo, Jeff, we witnessed that you just murdered 2 people and you were beaten to the edge of your life. But yeah, we're going to just bring your brother back back from juvie." "Let's hope for the best," said the doctor. He quickly pulled the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face.
Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face. Louis and Jeff's dad stare awestruck at his face.
What? What happened to my face?" Jeff said. He rushed out of bed and ran to the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of distress. His face. It's horrible. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. His face was turned into a pure white color, and his hair singed from brown to black. He slowly put his hands on his face. It was a sort of leathery feel to it now. He looked back at his family, then back at the mirror.
Jeff, it's not that bad, said Louis.
"Not that bad," said Jeff. "It's perfect!" His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching.
Jeff, you okay?
"Okay, I've never felt more happy." "Look at me! This face goes perfectly with me!" He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it, looking at it in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that Jeff was fighting Randy. Something in his mind, his sanity, snapped. Now he was left as a crazy killing machine. That is, his parents didn't know.
Doctor, said Jeff's mom, is my son all right? You know, in the head?
Is he gonna be okay? Is my son special now?
Do we have to sign him up for the special classes?
Oh God. Oh yes, this behavior is typical for patients who have taken very large amount of painkillers. No, I don't think that's... Laughing at his reflection is not painkillers.
Yeah, something about that doesn't sound right.
This behavior is typical for patients who've taken very large amounts of painkillers. If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here and we'll give him a psychological test.
Oh, thank you, doctor.
Jeff's mother went over to Jeff.
Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go.
Jeff looked away from the mirror. His face still formed into a crazy smile. "'Kay, mommy." His mother took him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes.
This is what came in, said the lady at the desk.
Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie her son wore. Now they were clean of blood and now stitched together. Jeff's mother led him to his room and made him put his clothes on. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day of life. Spoilers much?
It's called a foreshadowing. Later that night, Jeff's mother woke to a sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded as if someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked into the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks.
Jeff, what are you doing? Asked his mother.
Jeff looked over to his mother. I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurts after a while. Now I could smile forever. Jeff's mother noticed his eyes, ringing in black.
Jeff, your eyes.
His eyes were seemingly never closing.
I couldn't see my face. I got tired and my eyes started to close. I burned out my eyelids so I could see I could forever see myself, my new face. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was going insane. What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful?
Yes, son, she said. Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy so he can see your face.
She ran into the room and shook Jeff's dad from sleep. Honey, get the gun! Dang!
Just shoot our son! It's not worth it, honey! Get the gun! Plan B, we talked about this!
Gosh. She stopped as she saw Jeff's face in the doorway holding a knife. See, this is why you sleep with the gun by your bedside, because if it's locked in a safe, then you're not going to have time to open the safe.
Mommy, you lied! That's the last thing they heard as Jeff rushed them with the knife, gutting both of them.
His brother Louis woke up, startled by some noise. He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to go back to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up before Jeff's hand covered his mouth. He slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge it into Louis. Louis thrashed here and there, trying to escape Jeff's grip.
Shh.
Jeff said.
Just go to sleep. And that's Jeff the Killer.
Huh.
I love this comment. Abso-fucking-lutely gorgeous, but how am I going to sleep? This comment may be offensive. He became Joker in the end. He's basically Internet Joker.
Oh, wow. It even kind of works with the makeup.
Yeah.
Alright, well that was Jeff the Killer's origins.
Okay, got two more. This one, this is from Z-Mints. He got
Okay.
some Pokemon creepypastas.
Pokemon. Okay.
We got Pokemon Dead Channel and 1999. Which one would you rather?
Why not both?
Okay, let's start with the first one then.
This seems like a pretty huge creepypasta.
Yeah, it's another one of those overview ones. Let's see here. Okay, visit the site. Okay, this looks like to be the actual one.
There's a Pikachu with cuts in his face. Okay, this is already What the hell is that?
Poor Pikachu. Do you still love me? It says.
I thought that said bruh asks if you still love him.
I thought it says bruh as well.
Wow. Okay, so is this one going next to Jeff the Killer and Mr. Krabs? or
Oh,
is
you
the
know
lizards-
it.
Oh boy.
All right, let's go ahead and do this. You know, we'll just fill this thing up.
This honestly looks like one of those images PETA would have made.
It does. It truly does. You know what? We'll put him down here. There we go. Oh, 1999 is not a Pokemon one from Z-Mint.
Oh, never mind.
My bad, Z-Mint. I thought it was a Pokemon one. Bro, do you still love me? You know what? Would you still love me if I was a Pokemon worm?
A Pokemon what?
A Pokemon worm. Have you heard the little meme? It's like, would you still love me if I was a worm?
No.
Oh.
That's a meme? Would you still love me if I was a worm?
Yep. What the fuck is this?
Sweetheart, I can't marry a worm. Scarlet Jinx? I beg your pardon?
Okay, we're saving this one too. We're adding this one in there. Sorry, chat. We're just adding more pictures. Zeke, would you still love me if I was a rock? Yeah, you would definitely rock Funky. Okay, that one was forced. That one was forced.
You should totally crop Morshu's face and put it on the frog. We don't have time to crop.
Yeah, we'll just have to work with what we can do. There we go. There we go.
That lizard seems slightly irritated by the amount of memes on the screen.
Yeah, it kind of does. He's supposed to be just chilling there with a book, but yeah, he does look irritated. Like, yo, you're ruining the screen real estate, my dude. All right, the story written by Warrior Kellyamon. I was introduced to the video game realm a tad later than most other people. For most, if not all, of my early childhood, I was isolated from other kids, and I had next to no social interaction. My days was spent in a prison-like school, and my nights rotting away with mind-numbing TV. Life was dull and boring, and all I had was my stuffed animals and cheap plastic toys to talk to. That's when I got a GameCube, dude.
This is describing me, and I don't like it.
You're in this pasta, my dude.
And I don't like it. It was the Christmas of 2003, I believe. I was overjoyed at having my own video game station. Did anybody actually call it that? Did anybody actually call a console a video game station? Was that a thing?
guess. I mean, maybe maybe other country or another language might call it a station.
Huh. Okay, maybe. It came with the game Super Mario Sunshine, Pac-Man World 2, and Pokemon Channel. I wish I could say the same.
That was a good lineup for like a GameCube, you know, for
Yeah,
Christmas.
I wish I could say I had those games as well.
I got Sunshine with my GameCube when it came out, and the Game Boy player.
I didn't get Sunshine until like I took a trip to New York many years ago. Let's see, where was I? Each of those games still hold a special place in my heart today. As soon as the GameCube was set up and ready to go, I began playing it immediately.
The first game I played was Super Mario Sunshine. This game is what got me hooked into the Mario series. After playing it for hours straight and finally beating a level that I just couldn't get past, I turned to Pac-Man World 2. Amazingly enough, I got stuck on level 2, infuriated that I couldn't find the way out even though the answer was literally right in front of my eyes. I quit and started playing my first ever Pokemon game, Pokemon Channel.
As soon as I turned the game on, I knew this game was going to be different from the other two. It didn't take long for me to fall in love with the game. When the time came for me to name my Pikachu, I unwittingly named him Burv.
Burv.
like in the photo on the stream, Burv.
Burv.
I'm just gonna call him Bruh.
Bruh.
Short for brother. What compelled me to give him such a strange nickname that didn't even sound like a shortened version of brother, I'll never know. But regardless, I enjoyed playing.
There's no way for me to describe the love I felt towards this game. It was everything I have ever dreamed of. In this game, I had a friend that I could play with. It all took place in the Pokemon world too, which I had already loved before I even got Pokemon Channel. I could watch TV with my best friend Bruh, go fishing with him, play tic-tac-toe with him, talk with other Pokemon with him, grow a garden with him, build a snowman with him, explore ancient ruins with him, play musicals with him, sit around a campfire and tell stories with him, gaze at the stars with him. All the things I could never experience in real life, I was able to do with the virtual world with Bruh, my best friend I never had.
I was obviously overly addicted to the game, but I had nothing else to use up my time with. So instead I put it all into this game. Oblivious to all the things happening in the real world, I preferred to live my life in this Pokemon fantasy with my best friend, Bruh.
Bruh seemed more than just a virtual animated 3D model forced to do his actions based on the programming of the game. He seemed real to me. If I was ever sad one day, he would appear to look and act depressed too. If I was ever angry, he would show and express my rage during that play of the game too. If I needed something to cheer me up, he would act silly and leap at me and do other idiotic things too. Later on, when I grew older and wiser, I just assumed all these strange events never really happened. When I was younger, I had just simply imagined it. But it was still fun to pretend he was real.
As the years passed, I got more games. I had acquired a Game Boy, which along with it came more Pokemon games, where I could have more than just a single Pikachu. My interest also floated to different series like Mario and Sonic. After playing Pokemon Channel so many times and doing the same thing over and over again, it starts to get a bit boring. I started playing it less and less, and other games more and more, but I still gave Pokemon Channel a play every now and then.
Eventually, I changed schools, and my whole life changed. I was moved from a private Christian school to a public school, and my eyes were opened to reality. I started to learn new things about real life, which helped me enjoy it more. People weren't mean and cruel to me. They would greet me when I passed them in the hall. I discovered I could do more than just play video games. I could draw. There were thousands of songs I could listen to. My grades started dramatically rising.
But the best part of
it all was that I got a new friend. A real friend. One who was flesh and bone. She was funny and helped me get used to the school, and was someone I could talk to besides my parents. We both had the same immature and mock everything in every possible way kind of minds. I finally had a best friend.
While I started to grow in both body and mind, Pokemon Channel was slowly forgotten. I moved on to greater and better games. Almost all the things I could do in the game, I was able to do in real life now. Bro was replaced by my real life best friend. He in the game has become obsolete, forgotten on a dusty shelf in a dark corner of the room. The man seriously chose Ho over Bro.
For the next couple of years, life was golden. Each day I would learn something new, and I had a ton of fun with my best friend.
Are we ever gonna get this friend's name?
No, it's just friend. I mean, he named the Pikachu Bra.
Now the friend is just friend.
Friend.
I made a few other friends too, but no one could top my best friend. Every now and then I'd get a new game, get some money, go do something with my best friend, draw something, listen to music. I never wished for anything more. Good things never last.
Eventually, I had to move. I protested and threw a fit, but to no avail. Trying to stop the tears from falling down my face, I told my best friend goodbye on my last day at that school. For the next few nights, I cried myself to sleep at my new house, but eventually I stopped. Having one of the main reasons to live in life ripped away tore a hole in my heart that will never be completely healed, but the pain eventually became less and less.
I still had contact with my best friend though. We both had YouTube accounts and we would talk to each other over the internet. We'd call each other too and sleep over sometimes and see a movie together. But it hurt to not have her at school anymore. I made some new friends at my new school, even more than at my old school. But none of them were as funny as my best friend. None of them could replace her.
Just when I thought I could get used to this lifestyle, one of the most dreadful things happened. For her sake, I won't pass what my friend did, but she did something horrible, and my mom refuses to let me speak to or see her ever again. My heart was utterly smashed into thousands of pieces. I felt like I had nothing left to live for. My best and what felt like my only friend was now gone from me forever.
I now sunk back into my old habits, playing video games and isolating myself from the rest of the world. I didn't like to go out anymore. I refused to leave my room except to go to school, eat, and use the restroom, and visit my dad every other weekend. Now that my best friend had snatched away from me, and that I didn't do anything in real life anymore, I needed something to replace them.
Searching through my ancient shelves of old games, I pulled out Pokemon Channel. I brushed the dust off the cover. It felt like it's been an eternity since I gazed upon the game. I inserted the game disc into the GameCube, grabbed my controller, and awaited to greet my old virtual friend, Bruh.
Searching through my ancient... Oh, whoops. A tear fell down my cheek as memories flooded back while I stared at the title screen. After a moment of soaking in the old nostalgia, I select continue. I eagerly select yes when the information appeared of my current saved game, asking if it was correct. As the transition Pokeballs rolled across the screen, I just couldn't wait to see Bruh again.
When the transition was over, I appeared to be in my room. The normal cutscene where Pikachu was asleep on top of the shelf and wake up didn't play. But at this moment, I had almost completely forgotten about that. The only thing on my mind was Bruh. As I searched around the room, though, he wasn't anywhere in sight. DBD? DBD!
The Delibird that delivers the goods you buy from the shop from Shopping Squirtle channel was at the door. I smiled warmly at the sight. I remember I brought something from that channel almost every day when I was younger. I thought I must have brought something the last time I played and completely forgotten about it. Curious about what was in the delivery, I eagerly headed for the door. Pika.
A deep moaning sound stopped me before I reached the door. I turned the screen and saw Bruh climbing out from under the bed. He looked beat up and depressed. I never seen him climb out from underneath the bed before, except for when he's searching for the Pokemon Mini at the beginning of the game. When he turned and saw me, a shocked expression came over his face, like it normally should.
Hey, brother, it's me, I whispered, even though I knew he couldn't hear me. Instead of a joyous look and cheering Pika Pika, he acquired an infuriated look on his face. I was a bit confused as to why he was angry, but before I could ponder at the subject, Debbie D, the Delibird called from the door.
Banishing the whole incident from my thought, I turned and opened the door. I was comforted when comforted when the Delibird handed a box, and Bruh smiled and waved as the Delibird flew off. A package arrived with merchandise from Shopping Squirtle. I quickly pressed A as that message appeared.
I wondered what was inside as Bruh leaned inside the box and took out the items. You got a Pikachu TVZ. The Pikachu TVC has been displayed. A menacing and quite gruesome-looking Pikachu TV was set up in replacement of my old Voltorb TV. It looked like a Pikachu head facing towards you with its jaws wide open. Inside its mouth was the TV screen with its fangs over the top and bottom. It looked like the skin was tearing and ripping apart at places, like the TV screen was too large for its mouth. I was a bit shocked at how scary the TV looked.
You got red wallpaper Z. The wallpaper has been displayed. I gasped when the wallpaper was put up. It was dark red, like dried blood. Pikachus with sick, twisted smiles were repeating all across it. They each were bright red, like freshly drawn blood. I was beginning to worry.
You got Pikachu Doll Z. The doll has been displayed. I winced with fear when I saw the morbid Pikachu placed on top of one of the shelves. It had the same eerie grin as the Pikachus on the wallpaper, except with long fangs. Its eyes were small, ruby red, and dilated. The tip of its tail curved inward like a hook, and its sharp-looking claws. Numerous dried streaks of blood ran the length of its body.
You got Pikachu Doll Z. The doll has been displayed. You got Pikachu Doll Z. The doll has been displayed. You got Pikachu Doll Z. The doll has been displayed. The same sequence happened over and over until the entire room was filled with the disturbing Pikachu dolls. They replaced all the other dolls.
Bruh got up and looked around the room. He nodded in satisfaction and walked towards the TV. I sat in my chair, stricken with fear. Even though it had been years since I played the game, I knew these items were never in it. Pika. A threatening and commanding call came from Pikachu. He was standing in front of the TV giving me a glare. I knew he wanted me to go over there.
I walked to the TV and turned it on. It opened to the report channel like normal, but to my horror, the screen looked like it had blood dripping down it. I changed the channels, and they all looked that way. I quickly opened up my diary, which is the game, which in this game is the start menu, and clicked on the TVS tab. I chose the Voltorb TV, but as soon as I did, the diary closed without me pressing B. Bro was staring at me with a threatening glare and shook his head disapprovingly.
Bruh turned back to the TV and changed it to the Fortune channel. This channel seemed normal except for the blood dripping down the screen. Choose your cookie! The words drifted by the bottom of the TV screen. I chose the top one I liked. Top one like I always do. Cookie floated down into the Chansey's hands and cracked open.
Do you really want to know your fortune? The words appeared on screen. I froze with fear. Something about that fortune seemed eerie. It appears that the Chansey on the screen was laughing.
Bruh changed the channel again. He changed it to the relaxation channel. Instead of the fluffy Mary, what greeted me were morbid Pikachus that looked just like the dolls jumping over the fences. I quickly pressed B and went back to the center of the room. Normally, Bruh would turn around and motion me to come back and watch it with him. But this time he didn't seem to care.
I walked over to my old paintings. A beautifully colored Jirachi surrounded by a cute Pikachu border hung against the wall. I sighed with relief. At least one of these things was still normal. I took a few moments to stare at the old painting, mostly just because I didn't want to look at the gruesome wallpaper or the horrifying dolls.
Bruh's looking at the painting too.
Chills went through my spine as that message appeared, even though it was normal for Pikachu to stare at your paintings with you. I pressed B, and sure enough, Bruh was standing in front of the painting. It seemed like he had a sad expression, like he was remembering long-lost memories. He turned to me, still with the same depressed expression. He looked like he was about to cry. I felt sorry for him, and wished there was something I could do to cheer him up.
Bruh walked up to me and asked me a question, which is normal for your Pikachu to ask you a question every now and then. But what made my blood chill was what he asked. Bruh wants to know if you still love him. It had an O, yes, and an X, no option. Bruh has never asked that before. I immediately clicked O. He smiled, and then bent over laughing. I was a bit confused as to why he was having a laughing fit. When he was done, he laughed. When he was done laughing, he looked back up at me with an evil smile. A message appeared at the top of the screen. Bruh knows you when you're lying. He turned back to watch the TV.
You know, at one point did you just, like, not turn off the GameCube?
At what point do you just, like, I don't know, unplug it?
It's like, okay, bye, bruh. Also, sorry, Funky. You could share it. You could send it to me on Discord. That's totally fine. At this point, I didn't know what to do anymore. I knew for sure that all this wasn't supposed to be happening. I thought that maybe if I restarted my GameCube, everything would go back to normal. I got up and reached for the restart button, but when I pressed it, nothing happened. I pressed it a second time, and still nothing.
The game cannot be reset right now. The message appeared on the screen. My heart stopped beating for a second. After dumbly staring at the screen for a solid minute, I sat back down and decided I would continue playing. Might as well see where this goes, I whispered to myself.
I just looked around the room for about a minute. Other than the wallpaper, dolls, and TV, everything seemed to be the same. I tried to smile while looking at the old Pokemon Mini and posters, but I couldn't bring myself to. The normally cute and cheerful music seemed to make the room more dark and disturbing. It looked as if all of the morbid dolls had their eyes focused on me, like they were about to reach out and grab me, then slowly tear apart and devour my flesh.
Bruh wants to go outside. The message appeared on the top screen. Before I could do anything, though, Bruh went outside and the game forced me to follow him.
My breath caught in my throat when I went outside.
The sky was blood red, with even darker red clouds swirling in it. Strewn across the lawn were dead Pokemon corpses. I couldn't tell what many of them were. Most of their limbs were torn off, their faces shredded, entrails everywhere. I felt sick, like I was about to throw up.
Pikachu just found a new hobby.
Ah yes, murder and desecration of the body.
You know, just common things. Bruh circled around them, then turned to me and gave me an evil grin. He walked up to me and asked a question. Bruh wants to know if you like what he's done to the place. I immediately pressed X. His sick grin deepened even more. He walked over to a skitty corpse and threw it at me. Its body parts broke off and flew everywhere as it bounced off the screen. After many agonizing minutes of being forced to watch Bruh toy with the dead body parts, he walked over to the garden.
I think the screen might have froze. I've lost our place.
Oh, here you go.
Okay. Okay, there it is. Thank you. When we stepped into the garden, 2 plants were fully grown. Instead of fruits, they had grown Pikachu heads. Bruh plucked one and started to slowly eat it. My lunch started to rise up in my throat, but I forced it back down. I tried to turn away from the gruesome sight, but something glued my eyes to the screen. After taking his time, Bruh walked over and ate the other head. Once he was done, he cast me a wicked smile and leapt out of the garden. Again, I was forced to follow him.
Just Pikachu's eating. just snacking. Bro was apparently done messing around outside and went straight inside. I was hoping that he was done and we would stay inside. I now much preferred the morbid dolls over the body parts, but he wasn't done showing me the world he had created yet. Almost as soon as we went inside, Bruh went immediately to the back door. Guess who was forced to follow yet again?
When we went outside, there weren't any more corpses, much to my relief, but the sky was still an ominous blood red. When I tried to go back inside, he wouldn't let me. Bruh would just turn and give me a disapproving shake of his head, so I was forced to stand there. The Viridian Forest bus pulled up, and Bruh walked up into it, without me even clicking on it. The transition played normally, the bus riding over the map to the Viridian Forest, but when we got there, the whole forest was on fire.
Dead Pokemon were lying everywhere as the trees wildly burned, their bodies charred black by the flame. Bruh seemed unaffected by the blazing fire. He skipped over the patches of mushrooms. They looked like they were bleeding. Bruh ate one without asking for permission. He gave a satisfied nod when he was done.
Then he ran over to the bell that starts the Pokemon concert. Instead of Bruh being surrounded by Clefairies, he was surrounded by those morbid Pikachu plushies. Using the bells, they played the most haunting and blood-curdling tune I have ever heard. I was awestrucken. It was so beautiful, yet so horrifying. It was high-pitched and made my ears ache, but I was in a trance and couldn't think to turn the volume down. After what seemed like years passed, the play was finally over.
Glancing around, Bruh seemed satisfied with the burning forest and headed back towards the bus. Again, I was forced to stand outside my house while I waited for the next horror Bruh would inflict upon my eyes. I thought he would want to take the Mount Snowfall bus, but he had other ideas. He let that bus just pass on by. Instead, he decided to take the bus to Cobalt Beach next.
Same simple transition, same horrifying scene. The beach was littered with pieces of corpses of Pokemon you would normally find roaming around there. The ocean looked like blood, and floating in it were even more body parts from the dead Pokemon. It then came apparent to me that Bruh didn't like other Pokemon.
We then played a game of tic-tac-toe. Instead of rocks, we used internal organs for the pieces. Well, you know, if you don't have what you need, you just improvise, you know? Bruh beat me by a long shot, although that was because I couldn't think straight using intros as X's and O's while being surrounded by dead corpses. He laughed when he beat me, like this was all normal and supposed to be happening. Then, for a brief moment, a look of regret and sadness swept over his face. I felt a longing to reach out and comfort him, so I used the C-stick to pet him. But as soon as the cursor touched him his normal infuriated and demented look came back. He ran off over to the fishing area, but a little person called me unwillingly follow behind.
Bruh stood on his rock and threw out his fishing line into the blood ocean. waiting for a bite. I did nothing, for there was nothing I could do. But he turned and gave me a menacing glare like I was supposed to be helping him. That's when I remembered bait. Clicked on the jar, labeled bait, but instead of chocolate glazed donuts, I got a rotting brain. It was falling apart and covered in greenish brown mold. Yet it was still throbbing. Quickly, I tossed it into the ocean.
Shortly afterwards, Bruh caught something on his line. With a great yank, the creature came flying out of the ocean.
I swear, this creature shall forever haunt my dreams.
It looked like an oversized, dark purple Magikarp. The most terrifying of creatures. But it was foaming at the mouth with a green, acidic blood pouring out from numerous gashes all along its body. Multiple organs clung to the many spikes sticking out from its body. Parts of its scales had been stripped away, exposing muscle underneath, and some parts of the muscle looked like it had been eaten, leaving bones sticking out. It flopped around and gasped for air while disturbing, gurgling sounds emitted from its mouth.
I screamed when I saw the vile creature. Bruh turned to me as if he had heard me and grinned. He slowly climbed down from the rock, taking as much time as possible to let the wretched creature suffer that much more. Then he started to eat the Magikarp. While it was still alive, I screamed again, covered my mouth as my eyes were forced to watch the gruesome sight. Once he was done with his meal, he turned back to me and smiled a happy, playful smile. I couldn't believe this monster was once my close virtual friend that I looked forward to seeing every day after school.
After that traumatizing event, Bruh cheerfully skipped along down the beach, back to the bus stop singing, "Pika Pika Choo." His merriment made the situation even that much more horrifying. While waiting for Mount Snowfall bus, Bruh stood in the middle of the walkway, staring at me. His face was blank and showed no signs of emotion. Even though I knew he couldn't hear me, I whispered, "Why are you doing this?" A tear started to fall down my face.
Bruh made this world to please you. My blood turned to ice when that message appeared at the top of the screen. Bruh casted me another stick. A sick, wicked grin stretched from cheek to cheek. More tears started to sneak their way down my face. The Mount Snowfall bus finally arrived. I don't know if I was happy at the sight or petrified at the thought of facing another gruesome scene.
Same thing as before. Innocent transitions. Not so innocent sights. Frostbitten carcasses lay strewed out ungloriously across the frozen land, most half buried in snow. Surprisingly, there was no blood or entrails laying about. This area had a more sad atmosphere than morbid. Bruh slowly walked over to where Kecleon and Jigglypuff would normally sing, but since they were dead and buried under the snow, who knows where he took their place? Where he took their place.
Bruh sang the most beautiful yet saddest song I had ever heard. His harmonious voice sounded like violins playing the most tear-jerking tune I had ever heard. He had a depressed and sorrowful yet focused expression when he sang the tune, which is just what the song sounded like. I couldn't control the tears that started flooding down my face when he sang. My poor emotional heart broke in two listening to this song drenched in melody.
After what seemed an eternity, Bruh finally finished. He looked me dead straight in the eyes with the most sorrowful, depressed, and utterly hopeless expression anyone has ever seen. I longed so much to hold him in my arms and comfort him, but he quickly turned away and ran towards the second half of Mount Snowfall.
We stood in front of the ruins of truth. For many moments, Bruh stood dead still while staring at the ruins. Then he glanced at me, a deep, meaningful look in his eyes, and ran inside, was jet black inside, like it was supposed to be. He used a thunderbolt to light the electric flowers, which caused the entire ruins to light up. All along the walls, ceilings, floors, many different words were written in blood. Help me. Why? I must die. Kill me. It's so cold. I'm so lonely. Where is she? Come back. Why can't I die?
Bro walked over to the other side of the ruins, where the true or false tablet stood. I was forced to click on it.
Bruh was abandoned by his best friend years ago, to be replaced by a new best friend, and was left to rot alone in this virtual world. True or false?
I finally understood what all this meant. All those words written on the walls, they were from Bruh. This was all my fault. I left him, my best friend, to die alone. No, he couldn't even die if he wanted to. He was forced to drag out his miserable existence over the years. I didn't blame him for wanting revenge on me. I deserved this.
I slapped myself across the face. What was I thinking? Bruh and Pokemon Channel was just a game. I wasn't supposed to devote my life to them. They were only meant to create They were only meant to be created to amuse and entertain the mind of a child. They weren't real. It took a minute to ponder over my last statement. They weren't real. I thought about all the things Bruh had done, traumatized me, and get revenge for abandoning him for so long.
Hell, this was all just too real.
I select O for true because it was. I admitted to abandoning Bruh and leaving him alone to rot. Instead of the table sinking back into the ground, it glowed green as if in approval with me. The screen slowly faded to black, except for Bruh.
He stood in the center of the screen with a tired, angry, yet sad expression. I didn't know what to think of him anymore. I hated him and wished I really could kill him, but I felt sorry and wanted with all my heart to help him and make things better.
Bruh feels the same way about you.
Those messages didn't shock me anymore. If anything, I was expecting it. After a few long moments of just staring at each other, I finally started to lose it. What are you going to do with me now? I asked.
Bruh wants you to suffer the same way he did, the game answered.
He cast me one last wicked grin, the widest and most grotesque I had ever seen, and the screen cut to black. After a moment, the title screen appeared. The continue button was gone. I sighed in relief that this horrible reunion was over. I got up and looked back at my desk. On it was a Pikachu doll Z.
Huh.
That was silly.
I think that was the closest to creepy we've gotten in this stream.
True.
Well, all right then.
I think I'm done for right now.
I don't blame you.
I'm kind of spooked. Not really. But no, that was, I would, out of everything we read, that was probably the best one.
Probably. I mean, that's not saying a whole lot. There were several grammar mistakes in there.
Right. I mean, like if this was like someone's first ever writing, it's pretty good. Like it's not really all that great. And what can you really expect from a creepypasta, you know?
Fair enough.
If you go into creepypastas not really expecting too much, they're fine, you know. Well, that was pretty fun. Thank you so much for joining.
Sure thing.
Hope this made your day that much more enjoyable.
This made me reappreciate my gun all over again.
Especially with Jeff the Killer.
Yes, especially with Jeff the Killer.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for joining this spooky time of creepypastas.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes, there is chaos. It is a subscriber or a membership bonus. If you're a supporter, you gain access to that Discord server. I no longer have a public server. But with that aside, I will see y'all tomorrow for some more Mario. Peace out.
Boy.